That remorse towards British victims is limited because non-Muslim girls are not viewed as fully human individuals deserving of protection, but as unprotected outsiders available for abuse without moral consequence. Across the West, our historic respect for the individual has, thanks to mass immigration, been overpowered by the more primitive attitudes that prevail elsewhere, according to which group membership matters first and foremost. The elite obsession with diversity has invited the latter to take advantage of the former. Scare words like Islamophobia and racism have been deployed to exploit the goodwill of Western host societies, paralyzing investigation and enforcement. Concerns have long been raised that the fear of accusations of Islamophobia have an inherited open discussion and effective action on group-based child sexual exploitation cases, particularly those involving grooming gangs. A series of reports and analyses from the think tank Policy Exchange have documented how the charge of Islamophobia has been deployed to challenge, intimidate, and discredit individuals and organizations attempting to highlight the issue. The law, too, began to foster an environment in which challenging certain minority communities, including Muslim ones, became politically dangerous or even criminal. This enabled grooming gangs to operate with impunity for years because authorities at every level, as we have seen, feared being labeled as racist or Islamophobic more than they had feared failing the girls to whom they owed a duty of care. That's right, it's more important to let women get raped than to be called racist. Across Britain, clear evidence of organized abuse by Pakistani gangs, among other Muslim-majority ethnic groups, was ignored because confronting it risked accusations of racism. Senior officers and council staff explicitly cited concerns about so-called community relations and potential race riots for a reason of inaction. Local councils repeatedly chose silence or denial over robust investigation because political and professional costs of appearing to single out Muslims was deemed too high. Long-standing British norms around free speech, child protection, and impartial application of the law were subordinated to the need to avoid offending minority sensitivities at all costs. Liberal elites in media, politics, and the public sector internalized the idea that acknowledging cultural or religious factors in a crime was in itself a form of bigotry. This mindset actively shielded the rape gangs by discouraging the very inquiries and interventions that could have saved thousands of children. Until the country rejects the fear of being called racist and restores the courage to name uncomfortable truths, the conditions that allowed these networks to thrive will remain. It was the predictable outcome of decades of legal and cultural changes that place sensitivity above justice. The law of the land has not merely failed the victims of grooming gangs, but actively enabled the perpetrators. For decades, statutes that should have been delivered swift, exemplary justice were either ignored, diluted, or deliberately misapplied in a manner that protected organized networks of predominantly Pakistani Muslim men while leaving thousands of British girls without protection or redress.